which now we've got to talk about everything a little bit higher. And I tell you what, I'm going to start to move to talk about the attack and everything else. I've got it there on Florian Vertz. To demonstrate Florian Vertz yesterday, I could drag him here because he was involved in build-up at times. Don't get it twisted. I could drag him here to the left as well. And if you doubt that at all, think to the chance that Ekitike missed, which I wouldn't call a big chance, but Florian Vertz flicks it round the corner back to Szoboszlai, moves to there and pulls it across, and Ekitike just fires slightly high and wide. I'm not going to call it a big chance, but everything went through him yesterday, didn't he? Liverpool's number 7. Quite clear that almost he is going to be the playmaker. That's what we saw yesterday. Everything really well flowed through Florian Vertz. And if you're honest about Vertz, because of the standard he sets, the ability he has, he'll be disappointed he missed that chance. Do you remember the one he skies? He'll be annoyed at that. But overall, we like so much of what we see. So that's the first thing to talk about positive in the forward areas. This boy as well. Ho, ho, ho. You little shagger, Ekitike. Did you see that finish? That one where, to be fair, Florian Vertz puts the information on the pass, but fires it in somewhere around here, doesn't it? Turns inside and bang, beautifully curled into the bottom corner. I didn't really get the doing his hands like the silence bit, but who really cares? If he bangs them in like that, he can celebrate all he wants all day, every day. What I like, though, about Florian Vertz, as we saw, Hugo Ekitike, linked well. Do you remember that little flick on where he comes back and flicks it around the corner? Brilliant. But also, on the left here, gave Chris Richards a few nightmares, didn't he, when Chris Richards drifted out to the left? I thought that was brilliant at times. Yeah, worked. Everything you wanted to see from Hugo Ekitike was there. Really was yesterday. So much heart and enjoyment to take from that performance. And the reason I've dragged him into there in the middle is that Vertz Ekitike understanding just seemed to be there from the off, didn't it? No one created more chances than Vertz. 4 chances he created during the game for us. Hugo Ekitike responsible for half the side's XG. Those two, and before everyone jumps on for Isak and all that other stuff I get, because people totally missed what I was saying with the tweet yesterday, but we're talking about yesterday, them two from the attacking sense were the big positive. I don't know how anyone can say any different. Maybe God's listening because the sun's come out brightly, so apologies if that's reflecting there, but so much to like about that. Then we come to the others in wide. Mo Salah, the Egyptian king, the demigod, a player, my favourite player, just to be clear for anyone who said bias, not analysing it fairly. Screw all touches in the first half, wasn't there? Absolutely bog all, hardly involved. I mean, I think just 20 passes he attempted and a success rate of 65% for the Egyptian king. We just didn't get him involved, especially in that first half. The only thing I would say is, you never know, but I think if you remember it, he gets it early. It's the one where Gakpo's offside because Vertz takes the touch. It's such a shame we saw Vertz take that, because I think if he leaves it, it does go into Gakpo's path, which was where it was intended for, and it's, great there. Well, yeah, I mean, we're talking about a player last season, and we know how far away from, everyone he was, but it was just so below his stats across the board. I mean, the penalty, someone's going to jump on, aren't they? 2 penalties. His last 2 at High and Hansen. Has anyone noticed what I would say about Mo? he has changed his technique, as someone put on the social medias earlier today. He takes that side, big breath and the side and wrap. He's just kind of breath and up, and it's going, go back to what we know. And his record is far better than people make out, so that is a different discussion. The one thing Mo will be most disappointed with, that chance. Remember the one that Kirkes, makes for him. He'll be disappointed with that. Don't get that twisted at all. Literally either side of Henderson, and it's a goal. Maybe it's interesting how this develops in this system, but also it didn't quite work with Frimpong, didn't it? I know no one's going to work as well as his previous right-back partner, but I think Frimpong had it about 30 times. We all had visions of that. Maybe Mo would tuck in a lot and we'd see beep, beep, Frimpong going past, but that didn't really work itself out yesterday, didn't it? In terms of the areas we wanted to see Mo Salah in, we didn't get that. This is a friendly, but that will be interesting to see. This player, Cody Gakpo. It's funny, actually. Sam Maguire in his Patron called it as one of his headings from yesterday. The Cody Gakpo sore thumb. And let me give you this extract from it as well. For balance, the left-sided attacker needs to be someone who's wanting to run in behind and stretch play. It needs to be someone who can beat a man either by going on the outside or attacking the inside pace. They need to be aggressive, not passive. Not one word of that describes Cody Gakpo. He's not slow, but we all know what Cody Gakpo is looking to do. He's looking to get the ball, cut in, and bend it somewhere into there. That's his trick, and it's a nifty trick, by the way. And it's a trick that, had real fruit last season. But I just wonder where Florian Vertz likes to drift to, as we saw yesterday. It didn't work, this left-hand side, and I think that played a part of it. You quite often saw, because Kirkes would tuck in, especially when they did that switch to Munoz, I think it is. How many times was Cody Gakpo on the cover at left wing-back? Seemed a bit, I don't know if he was lost to where he is, but also, when he did have the ball in key points and places thinking, okay, do something with it, I'm not saying it was solely his fault by any means. You can never say that. But Cody Gakpo twice gives the ball away and it leads to goals. Does it mean it's his direct correlation? But plays a part in that. It just didn't work. And also, maybe this is being a bit of a harsh judgment, and maybe this goes into it for me, for other people. Where was Rio Ungamoa? Anyone else not want to see Rio Ungamoa get on? Anyone else not thinking, wow, that would have been exciting? Especially at 2-2. Especially he's a friendly, so who cares really? Give him his head. Give him an opportunity. But it didn't. And it didn't happen. And Rio Ungamoa didn't see a single minute in this game. Much to, I'm sure, mine and your disappointment, which actually starting to look at the chat panels. Sorry, I've ignored your bits, trying to cover all the bits. Maybe come into the fore. Now, before you all start, we are about to have 15, 16 players on the pitch, but it's mainly just to emphasise a few things. So I'm dragging Ungamoa, I'm dragging Chiesa onto the pitch, and it doesn't really matter. I'll move the sides because someone will whinge about this again. If you're joining us now, yes, I've got a lot of players on the pitches to emphasise the attacking situation. This is what Liverpool have at the moment in time, don't they? Ekitike, Salah, Gakpo, Chiesa, natural attackers. You've got Florian Vertz, who can, as on a slot, and we've seen it in a different formation by Leverkusen, move to the left, of course, and play from there. And then you've got Rio Ungamoa. So you could say 4 natural attackers, 1 player that can play there, and a junior option. The thing we're all seeing at the moment is that isn't as strong as last season, especially if you think back to yesterday when it wasn't going well. it's not just about what's happened, but I think we all would have said there's always two options normally on the bench. So you would have seen Nunes, you would have seen Diaz, and their characteristics, their pressing, their aggression, their pace, it looks a bit different, doesn't it, all of a sudden? And that's no disrespect to Harvey Elliott and everyone who came on, but it's just true, really. But they're not there. And then you start looking at the options, don't you? He doesn't fancy Chiesa. We're all just waiting for the announcement that someone in Italy has made a move for Chiesa and he's heading back home. This is what we're waiting for. So and his tune's banging, no disrespect to the player, but almost half dragging him off the pitch anyway. Which then, yes, he's an option. But again, Chiesa didn't play a minute yesterday. Didn't go on tour to Asia. You know everything you need to know. Looks short, doesn't it? And even, dear God, someone's going to know about this, and drag Alexander Isak onto the pitch. That gives you then 4 senior attackers. Salah, Gakpo, Ekitike and Isak. And all of a sudden you start to look and think, tell you what, if that's it, the middle's covered. There's a quality striker, the tip of the spear. That is the big positive all times. Ekitike can also play from the left. Many would like to see that happen. On the left, then, you've also got Rion Gamoa. So it doesn't look too bad. Although all of a sudden you are thinking, well, who's covering Salah? I know someone would say, as I would, Frimpong, it's only 6 games max. But the way Conor Bradley's injuries are going, that comes into the mix as well. So, yeah, the attacking options, in case you're joining me, yes, I've got a lot of players on the pitch. We're just talking about the attacking depth. I think that's why we all want to see another one, don't we? And something like, maybe people are going to disagree, something like this all of a sudden. I'll put Ekitike halfway between Isak and halfway between Gakpo, as in, can play for the left, can play centre forward, really important. But also Malik Fofana, if he came, you're dragging him left, you're dragging him right. I'm not convinced they're going to do this, people. I want them to. That's why I've got them on the pitch. If this window finishes right now, finishes when it does, let me phrase that a different way, with Salah, Gakpo, Ekitike, Isak, Fofana as your options, with a junior Rio Ngamoa and Florian Vertz, all of a sudden you go in all fronts, lads. All fronts. If Malik Fofana or another winger who, a multifunctional forward, that should be the term I'm using, doesn't come, all of a sudden you're like, could be okay, but could be a bit thin. And that was a bit what we saw last season, where they run out of energy. And we debated this, debate is too strong. Chatted about it, me and Dave Lynch on this. But yeah, it is an interesting one. Chat panel's buzzing with it. Different thoughts. Something I'm talking righteous, something I'm talking nonsense by the looks of it. But yeah, thank you for all your comments there. There's honestly so much to look into with this. And again, things are going to happen still. Everyone wants Mark Gay to join, so you've got centre-back depth there all of a sudden, don't you? Feels like that could well happen, especially based on what Steve Parish has said that way. That would be positive. God, this man, it just drags and drags and drags, but hopefully we might get news soon. However, it's a couple of people. I think everyone wants to join this group. Otherwise, it could just look a little bit short all of a sudden. You can pick your starters. You can pick where you want them. But it feels important. And actually, with what we have right now, this is not going to be popular at all. But this, genuinely, is what I would like to see. I'm dragging Cody Gakpo out the starting lineup. I am putting Florian Vertz coming in from the left, a la Felipe Coutinho. I would have Szoboszlai there. I would have, and I've moved to the side, almost Alexis McAllister as a 10. I would have, and where have I lost him? He's a dad, so he can't go walkabouts. Where is he? There you are, Ryan. Afraid Curtis. Not for me, mate. That's not disrespectful. I think he's a great squad player, but we're talking about what I would have in the starting lineup right now. That would be me. Based on, and again, taking these out before you moan about how many players I've got on the pitch. Let me drag them off, because I can see that starting in the chat as well. Dear Lord. That would be my starting lineup. With the ability to Vertz to tuck in a little bit, still play that playmaker role, a la Coutinho. Milos Kirk has the chance to bomb on a bit more. Also a chance, as we saw so effectively at times, think City away. Almost like a box you could play, as we know, in midfield. I love the idea in the big games this season of having Grav, Szoboszlai, Maka and Florian Vertz on the pitch and just bossing that midfield. Even then, if you want. False 10s, couldn't you? Different ones, yeah, as we saw. But for me, right now, and I know people are disagreeing, that's absolutely fine. It's all a game of opinions. That would be, for me, the strongest lineup right now. Listen, it's one game. It's a pre-season friendly, really, the Charity Shield, Community Shield, against Bournemouth. Would it surprise me if Salah banged, Gakpo started and got one? Absolutely not. But there are just a few systematic things to talk about and work out. Interested to see what happens with Milos Kerkez. I've dragged him off the pitch there, but is it again going to be Curtis and Dominic Szoboszlai in the double pivot? What will Bournemouth take from that? It will be interesting to see. Alexis McAllister welcoming back into the starting lineup. Could it be Szoboszlai and Maka as the double pivot? I think that's where I've been leaning at the moment. Honestly, there's so many things. A great day at times for Florian Vertz. Some brilliant things to see from Ekitike. The leadership of Mo Salah and Virgil van Dijk. A few things they might want to just remind everyone Friday night. But there we go. A little bit of something different for you on Anfield Index. We generally try and look at positional plays. We will have things with Bart's coming back this week on analysis. I know the Up Boys will start to get into their groove as well. But as a bit of a special for you, that was another positional play for Anfield Index.